But
We're going. We're live.
We're live?
cool.
Alrighty. Well, so first, could you just tell us your name and then a little bit about, like, why you come to Meadville, why you stopped in Meadville?
Absolutely. I'm Julianne Neal, and I'm here representing several different things. So I'm with the nonprofit called the Marley Project Incorporated, and I'm also here as the producer of a film called The Edge that we screened on Thursday night, and I'm directing and producing a thing called the Spotlight Rescue Series that I'm partnering with Lisa Dearson and the Film Festival with that. So we've sort of got a bunch of different hats going on, but Bruce Anderson and I are here together, and we're really excited, first of all, that Thursday night was a phenomenal screening of The Edge, which is a documentary about his work, and we had some Q&A with local folks after that, so that was very exciting.
Awesome. Well, the Spotlight series, so that was something that was a collection of a bunch of, like you just said, negative and positive PSAs.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's being shown today?
It is,
Okay.
it is.
Do you want to walk us through that?
Sure. The Spotlight Rescue Series is a collaboration between my media company and the Equus Film Festival, and it's sort of started last summer. I was on the phone with Lisa Dearson, the festival director, and we were talking about some news articles and media that had just come out about some different awful things going on with rescue and horses and animals in general at that time. And I told her, I teach high school. I'm the arts coordinator for a school district in South Carolina, and I do film projects with my kids all the time that are PSAs on teenage pregnancy and drinking and driving and that sort of thing. And we show them and grandma sees it and then it sits on a shelf. And so we decided that it would be a good idea to do a series on rescue and some things that were going on then. So we set it up so that organizations can apply, and we basically film and put together a PSA for them. And so my students are learning editing, and they're learning, interview skills and all that. And so the reason we're here in Meadville is because of The Hanging Barn, which is one of our Spotlight series films. And Lisa found out about a situation that had happened up in Cochranton, and Bev D and Bright Futures Farm had rescued and rehabilitated some horses. And so as part of that series, we got together with Bev and I think it was Kevin Kramer is a local guy. Local guy sent us the script, wrote up the script for us, and then Heather Reichel and her company had done some filming for the current modern stuff. And so we put that together. And so that's why we're here. And the Spotlight series is showing today at 4:10, and then just The Hanging Barn itself is showing again tomorrow. So we're really excited about that. It's been a great project.
So how many films have you collected into the Spotlight series?
We did 9 last year, and we've already started some of the previews for this year. And I'm really proud of the series. We submitted it for the Equus Film Festival actual competition last year in New York, and in November it won the Best Documentary Format Series and the Horse Hero Award, which I'm very proud of that, because that one's one that, all the technical stuff is great, but then when you really tell a story, that's why I'm in it. Storytelling is it. So that was very special.
So how did you originally, so you've been into storytelling and filming. I guess I should ask, how did you get into filming in the first place? Because it sounds like you have this drive to help with issues that are going on with the horses. So how did you get into filmmaking, and then how did you end up kind of piecing those two pieces together?
Well, as I said, I think I'm the arts coordinator for a school district and teach high school theater still. And so I've done film projects with my kids and just always been interested in film. And now it's been 4 years ago, Bruce Anderson and I were just deciding one day we needed to put some video on our website. And I didn't want it to be some little hokey thing that I did or whatever. So and about that time we saw some things online. He's from Trinidad, and we got some things online that actually was footage of George Bovell, which is a swimmer, famous Olympic swimmer in Trinidad. And this group of guys had gone out to film him swimming under a waterfall as part of his training. And while he was under there, he sees a baby deer that he ends up having to rescue. So they have this footage of him coming up out of the water with this baby deer, and it's in 4K, so the water drops are flying everywhere. It's beautiful. And I said, that's what we want. We want something that looks like that. And so thinking, that's the end of that. But I get home that afternoon and Bruce says, well, I called the guys that made that film, and so we're going to talk to them on the phone about doing some stuff for us. And so that was the first phone conversation that started off the documentary, The Edge. And so we went to Trinidad and filmed for a couple of weeks that summer. And then the guys came up and filmed in South Carolina. James O'Connor and Dylan Cannell are our storytellers for that. And they have a commercial film company, so they're Nestle and BP and those guys are their clients. And so they were interested in the documentary side because they love that artistic side of it. And so just from watching them work and learning how they did what they did and the results that they got, I was just floored. I was intrigued because at that time I didn't even know what 4K was. So I'm thinking that's like 4 gigs or something. I didn't know. And so they kind of laughingly told me, they taught me a lot, in other words. And as part of that, they said, well, what are you going to do with the film and how are you going to finish it? We had a little short at that time. And I said, well, someday I want it to go to the Equus Film Festival in New York City. And I didn't even know how to do that or anything. And so I got on the phone with Lisa one morning, and she'd never heard of me. And I said, I've got this little film, and can we send it? And so going to New York that first year and the experience of being part of that festival in 2015, I was hooked. And so I ended up attending the Manhattan Film Institute the next summer and learned a little bit more about directing and about the business in general. And through Tony Spiridakis and those guys, I learned a lot. And so it kept snowballing from there. And so now it's really rewarding for me to be a part of Bruce's work in a better way, because we're documenting basically everything that he's doing with horses and people, and which is very powerful. It looks on the surface like round pen work that everybody's doing and natural horsemanship, which is the big buzzword now, but it's natural humanship. And so to explain that to somebody, you can talk all day long and they don't really get it. And to see it on film, you see the flip where they're, oh, I see what you're talking about. And so just the power of storytelling through film has been something that I love. And so everything we've done as part of that has led to something different. So now it's come full circle through our nonprofit. We're doing filming of the students and their creative writing, which we don't teach anymore in school. Creative writing's pushed aside because we're testing, and so it's a different style of writing. But we're able to bring that back into the stuff that we're doing, and the kids are illustrating their books and turning it into digital things, which we then turn back into a little mini film. So it's interesting. It's been really, really rewarding.
Wow, and those projects sound like, it's a great collection that you have. And then, so the one that you mentioned, Hanging Barn, did you say that was a story that was local to here? It was in Cochranton?
Yes.
And obviously, don't give any spoilers because it's being shown today.
Right.
But could you tell us a little bit about that specific one?
Sure. Actually, it starts out as one of the ones that I thought was going to be one of the really, really awful, awful stories. But with the work that Bright Futures has done with the rehabilitation, it became one of the positives. And we were just lucky. It was one of the first ones we started. And so we were kind of cutting our teeth with how we were going to do that. And so I had a student assigned to the project, and she's responsible for doing the storyboard and figuring out how that's going to be put together and the editing and interviews and everything. But we didn't have current footage. And so as we're looking at the pictures from when this event happened, it was just horrifying. And Bev was able to hook us up with Heather Reichel, who came out, and all of the current interviews and the drone shots and everything, the overhead aerial work is just really beautiful. And so hearing the story of how the horses went from where they were to their current owners now, and Cider and Tanner are the horses' names, and I feel like I know those horses. We've watched that footage so much that I just feel like I know them and the people. And so like you said, I won't give any spoilers, but yeah, you got to come see that one. If you're a resident of this area, it's like some of the other films that really pertain to things that could happen anywhere in any town. The film last night, All the Queen's Horses, you're looking at something that everybody that's in a municipality, everybody that is in city government, they need to see these films because they're telling stories that, they're specific to one certain town, sure, but they could happen anywhere. So it's cool stuff.
Awesome. Well, those were all the questions I had. Are we about at time?
Anything else that we should talk? The Marley Project is actually
Good.
setting up today, so if I can
Okay.
give a little plug for that. The work that we're doing with children is very special to me. And so one of our book projects, we've written some stories about Marley, who is Bruce's horse. And Marley, it goes with Bruce, and his dogs go with him. He has blue heelers, and so they're like a team. And anytime Bruce is working with horses or people, Marley and Curry and the dogs are involved. And so we've done a children's series called The Marley Stories, and the first one is Finding Alpha. So the magnet school students in their honors art class illustrated the first one, and we've put that together into a digital book that we have that we'll show today at the mall. And the next project is the story of Marley Goes to Meadville. So we want anyone local, and you can be young or young at heart, doesn't really matter how old you are. We're gonna have you help us tell the story of Marley Goes to Meadville. So we've already got the first 2 or 3 pages where he gets on the trailer with Bruce, he leaves Camden, South Carolina, and now he shows up in Meadville, and y'all gotta tell us where he goes. You know, we don't know the local spots, so he can go to the furniture store, he can go to the mall, he can go wherever you guys think he needs to be. So help us come out and draw it and tell us where he's gonna show up next.
Wow, that's
We'd
incredible.
love that.
Awesome. Do you have any other works that you want to tell us about as well?
I've blabbed on so long I can't think. I can't think of anything else. But if you have a spotlight story that you think is worth telling, we're taking applications for this year, and those will show in New York in November, and they'll go on the tour, the Equus tour. We've got stops coming up in LA and in Sedona and in Ontario, and so if you're interested in submitting a story, you know, we can't take them all, sure, but we'd love to have a wide variety this year, and really excited to be coming back to Meadville next year. I think that's going to be one of the tour stops as well. So you can come see us in Camden, South Carolina. We host a tour stop there, and then we'll be back here.
Awesome.
Anything else you want us to
I think that was
I think we're
wonderful.
good.
That was amazing.